Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Here today to give you sort of a sequel to my Pike press to handstand video. Why am I making this video? Because I lost my Pike press. In fact, I lost it for months. And in the process of regaining it, I had to rethink things just a little bit. And in that reformulation, my Pike press is back after months, but stronger than ever. So let me give you a few different things, a few refinements to make your Pike press more accessible. First one, I know that I mentioned it quite a few times in my first video, that you have to have a little bit of back bend, meaning spinal extension. Let's talk a little bit about why. And this goes back to my other videos about the secret of all of yoga. Our instinct with all things core is always to round the spine, right? Because this is the easiest core engagement. So most of the people I know who are still struggling with the Pike, but I know have both the strength and the skill level to get there, are all doing the same thing, which is to say they're rounding their spine. It's a natural, and I'll say even a logical instinct, but it's not the correct instinct. What I talk about in the secret to all of yoga is that if you want the most efficient and effective core engagement, you need to learn to both connect this ribcage and pelvis energy and simultaneously lift the sternum, which is another way of saying shoulders down, and it creates spinal extension. So that when my hands come down to the floor, and remember I need to embed the shoulders, I'm really very strongly feeling breadth across my upper back and melt behind my heart. This is very conscientious, and the muscles that I feel igniting more than anything when I'm doing this are all in my upper back. Yes, my core is doing the work, but my upper back is setting the foundation. So again, it's shoulders in bed, but then take the mid back and push it in as far as you can. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, I say in the other video, which is true, that you need to lead with the hips. Now, when I lost this, I realized not only was I not leading with the hips, but for whatever reason, I was having a lot of trouble accessing them at all, figuring out how to ignite them. So this is what I figured out. Yes, the movement needs to come from the tail, but the energy is really highly supplemented, if not led, by your hamstrings. So that when I come into the pose, yes, my hips are going high, but how much am I going to be able to tilt my hips while my feet are on the floor? The answer is not at all, only energetically until I could get my feet off the floor. So in order to get the feet off the floor, and in order to be able to access that little lift of the hips, of the tail, my energy is really here. I'm imagining like I'm pulling my sits bones up and away from my knees. It's that extra lift, that extra energy in my upper leg that actually allowed me to re-access the hips. Now, going up, one of the things that is a game changer. I say in the other video to ignite your legs. Let me be more specific. Squeeze your legs together like you're trying to, I was going to say break a coconut, but that makes no sense whatsoever unless it were A, very small coconut, and B, a very breakable coconut. But squeeze your legs together as if you're trying to keep a piece of paper in there. How about that? So make sure to watch my other video because it does have the predominance of the information. But here are my refinements. As my hands come down, I really emphasize the melting of the chest and the extension of the spine while maintaining lots of energy in the core. I come to my tippy-as toes, of course, right? Why do I come to my tippy-as toes? To give myself a head start. The higher my hips are, the less they have to travel to get into that 7 position.
So as I press down, I'm gonna lift up from my upper hamstring, sits bones, another way of saying buttocks. Here we go, I lean, I lift from my sits, squeeze the legs together, and take my time into my full pike press lift, okay?
I hope these 3 little tweaks help those of you who are already pretty close to getting there, because at that point, there's just little tiny differences that are gonna change the whole game. This is Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Don't forget to check out my Vimeo channel, because it's got full-length classes that will give you the strength, the flexibility, and the balance to get into any pose you ever dreamed of. Have sweet dreams.